Does it matter to you dads out there who are watching this that you're operating at your highest level? Do you understand the importance of working on your health? The importance of making sure that you have the energy to be there for your kids and for your family? Or are you gravitating towards the pleasures, towards the addictions in your life? We got to understand something here, is that we have to realize that we have an important role as husbands and fathers to make sure that we're raising this next generation to become stronger compared to where we're at right now in this society, this generation that we're in. And if you do look around you guys, we have a lot of weak-minded people. That's not an opinion, that's a fact. Look at everything that's happening right now. People call themselves he, she, whatever those terms are. People getting offended for someone else hurting their feelings. Kids in their 20s living with their mom and dad and having the mom pack their freaking lunch to work or to college. I literally have heard of these things happening. So what kind of generation are we raising right now? This is important. I'm thankful for my parents because my parents were old school. I was adopted, so I was raised by parents that were a lot older. And I think my mom was in her 50s, I believe. No, maybe in her upper 40s. My dad was in his 50s when they adopted us. And we were just little kids. I was 5 years old. My little brother was 3, older brother was 7 or 8, and then my eldest brother, was about 10 years old. My dad was in his 50s. So can you imagine the chaos? So my parents taught us discipline. They taught us hard work. You know, we were doing our own laundry. We were cleaning the house at a very young age, sweeping up the floors, taking care of ourselves. Part of it probably has to do with just how many kids were at the house, but the other part was just that they probably knew that we needed to take care of ourselves as well. So many situations that my parents put us through that instilled this work ethic in ourselves and my brothers and I. I remember walking down the driveway, a 1.5-mile driveway. We lived out in the country in the middle of a snowstorm. We were just kids in elementary. See, I don't blame my parents for doing that because they had to take care of so many kids in their home. Not just us, but their own kids as well. And now that I'm a father, I realize I don't know how they did it. I don't know how they managed it all. But we're all alive, so they managed it well. But they couldn't be there to take us to the bus stop all the time. We had to go out there in the middle of the storm, middle of the snowstorm, and walk down that freezing cold lane down to the bus stop, and other situations that really created that mentality. Mowing our grass. We had a big yard. I don't even know how big it was, but as a little kid, it was huge. It's in my eyes. It was huge in my eyes. But we had to push mow our yard. I had to mow a section. My other brothers had to mow a section. Sometimes I had to mow the whole freaking yard, and it took at least 4 to 6 hours push mowing. I didn't understand it back then. I didn't understand the lessons that were back then. But it was instilling that work ethic at a very young age. And then moving on further down my life, I joined the Marines. I was in the Marine Corps. I was on the wrestling team, you know, and then I got hurt in the Marines. I had to sit in boot camp for almost a year waiting to go home. That was painful because you couldn't leave the base. You couldn't just go out on your own and have that freedom. It was literally a jail. And then from that point, got out of the Marines, went crazy, started drinking just to numb the pain. I don't know. It was the addiction that I had with alcohol, living for the weekends, partying, drinking like crazy. and acting a fool. Hurt a lot of people, got in fights. So I was fighting addiction with alcohol for a long, long time, for years. Despite the regret, I just kept going after it. And then I got arrested in college. Sat in jail cell for a month, contemplating my life, whether this was going to help me learn my lesson. And I still didn't learn the lesson afterwards because I was addicted. So after that incident happened, I really needed to connect with God. He was the only one that was able to help me, and he did help me, because it wasn't with my own strength, my own power that I gave up the alcohol. It was through him. And before I met my wife, I was drinking occasionally. I would go a year without drinking, and then I'd pick it back up. And when I got married, I drank a little bit. But the more wisdom I gained in life, the more understanding that I gained about life and just the system that we're in. If you guys understand the system, the matrix is what I'm trying to say, then you understand that everything in this matrix is meant to suppress us. It's meant for us just to go through the motions of life and never unlock our potential. We're distracted by entertainment. We're distracted by our vices and alcohol. We're distracted by all these, by the food industry, with just the food that we eat and how it creates diseases in our bodies. Once you wake up, you realize, oh crap, I need to figure a different game plan out to work through the system. So I realized that alcohol was just part of me staying suppressed. I realized even when I was drinking, I'd wake up just hungover, and just not hungover, but I just woke up feeling like crap and then wasting time and energy. And the more that I've been working on building my fitness business, building my brand, building what I want to do with my life, I realized I don't have time to waste. So I have to make sure that I am operating at my highest level, because as a dad, we need to make sure that we're present with the family. I can't just waste time away just working on my business, working on my stuff. I have to be there for my family too. So alcohol was ruining that. I didn't drink much when I was married, but I even noticed it when I did drink, how much time it wasted. So I stopped. I drank once in a blue moon, and even one drink knocks me out. It's a toxin, man. It's a toxin. Why do I want to poison my body? And I do feel off the next day. So I haven't drank in a long, long time. I gave it up because, like I said, I was wasting time. Once you get out of that matrix, you just see everything. You see how everything's just planted, it seems like. Now I'm building the future for my family, and I'm building myself. I'm continuing to work on my health, continuing to make sure that I stay healthy as I can, so that as my kids grow older, I can keep up with them. As my kids have kids of their own, that I can keep up with their grandkids. So you have to understand long term that what you're doing now, you're going to reap later on. When you're in your 60s or 70s and people are in wheelchairs and having to have help moving around, you're going to be able to run around with your grandkids. So what you do now matters for your future. I've realized that your addictions, our addictions, my addiction to alcohol, your addiction to food, dads, the ones that are overweight, that don't take care of themselves, that choose pleasure over discipline. You guys, I'm talking to you. We have to break those addictions for our kids, for their future. Our job is to instruct, teach, and instill good habits into our kids' lives so that they can have a more fulfilling, high quality life where they're not messed up because of our own doing, our own addictions. They have to be able to have the chance to know what a healthy lifestyle is. They have to know that. Because if we're not teaching our kids that, we're just going to have another generation of weak men and women. So it's crucial for our role right now that we're making sure we're taking care of ourselves and instilling those habits into our kids. We don't need more weak-minded people. We need men and women who are bold, who are courageous, who don't have that anxiety and fear of going after what they want. Those issues are caused mostly from our food and what we're feeding our kids and our children. All that processed stuff. You can do the research. You will see how bad it is in our food industry. Dads, we got to really step up. I'm not perfect all the time. I know that. I still struggle with being the best dad that I can be. Mostly being present, being in the moments with my family. With being a content creator, doing a lot of things on my phone, I'm not always there. I'm not always mentally there with them. And my kids tell me, when I'm not paying attention. So there's areas that I need to improve in. But I'm willing to work on those areas because I understand how important it is. Us fathers need to be there for our kids. So you have a bigger role. You have big responsibility. And I know it's intimidating. I know it can be stressful to really understand that role. But we have to do our best. We have to do our best to raise our kids, to be strong, to be healthy, to be courageous, to just have a high quality life. That's our duty. Don't allow your children to have everything they want. Don't give them an easy life. Part of being a parent is that we want our kids not to go through pain and harm, but they have to figure things out on their own. They have to face those challenges. Because if we give them everything that they want or make things easy for them, then they're going to grow up feeling entitled. They're going to grow up feeling like the world owes them. But that's not the case. You have to go earn your keep. You have to go earn what you want. That instills a different mindset. When you work for something and you achieve it, it's more satisfying compared to just receiving something free, something that you didn't earn. So fathers, you got to earn that physique. You got to earn that discipline. You can't run towards the quick fixes. You can't run towards the conveniences. You have to drop all of that and just go and handle the business like a man and get it done. So I'm calling you all dads up so that we can all work together to raise a better generation, a stronger generation, so that we have a healthy society, a more fulfilling life. So anyways, that's it for this episode, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. As always, achieve your highest potential. We'll catch you in the next one. Peace.